Another beautiful Saturday morning, and we're much obliged to have you join us as always on Politics Today on independent television and radio. We're still basking in the euphoria of the 25th anniversary celebration of independent television, which held earlier this week, Monday to be specific, at the Horatio McKay Edo Hotel premises in the GRA axis of Benin City. I want us to big thanks again to everyone who made the event a huge success. We'll get back to business now on the show. So much to talk about, so many lines of talkings, and that has become the state of the nation when something happens, just when you want to settle in, you want to zero in, deliberate more of that, something else pops up that tends to take everybody's attention. We had planned to look at the train attacks in Kaduna State. Recall that earlier this week, there were attacks on the Abuja-Kaduna train in which some died, some were injured. So fortunately, some survived the attacks. And that has attracted a whole lot of reactions and counter-reactions from the governor of Kaduna State, Maranasa El-Rufai, from the Minister of Transportation, Rotimi Amici, and several others. Will be having a whole lot of talkings taking place. But all of those talkings hasn't changed the bandits, or if you like, terrorists, to continue to carry out the onslaught against the good people of Nigeria. But in those talkings, a whole lot has been coming forth. Some have said, well, it could be self-indictment. Some have also said, well, it is also confession time for those who have been given the responsibility to secure this country, and they seem not to be doing anything. There's something I captured yesterday looking at the budget line from 2020 through 2021 to 2022. It looks like insecurity has become the new cash cow in Nigeria, gulping hundreds of billions of naira at the expense of capital projects and what have you. That will be a major talking point on the show. But our first port of call is to look at the recent development in the Ebonyi State, where a whole lot of people have been expecting that Governor David Umahi and his deputy, perhaps the other 14 legislators that defected with him from the PDP to the APC, will soon be shown the exit door. Yesterday, an appeal court ruled in their favor, upholding their defection from the PDP to the APC. That certainly will be our first port of call on the program today. But let me quickly welcome Barrister Gentleman Mego. Of course, he's a grassroots politician and is also a public affairs commentator. Barrister Mego, many thanks for joining us on the program.
Thank you very much, and I want to congratulate you on your 25th anniversary.
Thank you very much, sir.
It's a huge success.
Yeah.
All those behind the scene who made this successful, we want to thank all of you.
Yeah, we can also exonerate you because we were there from the informative stage, yes, when that baby was born, talking about ITV. Yes, thank you so much. And you've been with us over the years. Thank you so much. Okay, Barrister Greg Iyayi will also be here to join the party as far as this discussion is concerned. As we always do, our studio line will be open so you can call and ventilate your views on the subject of discussion. We always recommend and ask you to be very civil in your language and stay on course for the issue at stake. Okay, let's get talking and give you the background information that a court of appeal sitting in Enugu Division yesterday affirmed the judgment of Ebonyi High Court, Abakaliki, which quashed a suit challenging the defection of Governor David Umahi and his deputy, Dr. Kelechi Igwe, from one party to another. The suit was seeking the removal from office for defecting to the All Progressives Congress, APC, from the People's Democratic Party, PDP. And Governor Umahi and his deputy had in November 2020 left the PDP, the platform on which they sought election, and were elected to the APC, citing injustice by the PDP against the Southeast Zone. But the appeal court, in a unanimous judgment delivered by Justice A.O. Begore, held that Umahi and his deputy have the right to move to any political party they so wish. the court held that there is nowhere in the Constitution, which is the supreme law of the land, where a sitting governor is barred from defecting to another political party. Other members of the three-man panel of justices are Justice J.O.K. Oyewole and Justice S.N. Gbagi. Okay, that's the foundation for this conversation. And I recall that in one of our discussions on this matter, you held this line of thinking. But is it Uhuru yet for David Umahi and his deputy?
It's certainly not yet.
Okay.
But we will get there. The justices in their own wisdom have said the law as it is today, no sitting governor can be removed by an ordinary court. Okay. And this was my stand the other day. I was so marginalized in this discussion that I began to worry. I was alone, the other people were on the other side. You see, it is a tried law. The constitution of this country is supreme. And nowhere in the constitution is it said that a governor can be removed just by a court for one offense or the other. There's immunity, which you will stand comfortably to discuss. And so, when it was people they were talking on morality. Well, we don't come here to talk on morality, but on what the law says. I thought that it was going to stand the test of time. And today we know where we are going. So finally we will get there, and I'll bring my colleagues back to this studio. Let's just say, where are we now? Then they will say, oh, politicians are maneuvering. Politicians are not maneuvering anything. APC is not maneuvering anything. It's just that this is the law. And so when we begin to operate within the ambit of the law, then we are moving forward. So, sir, it's not Uhuru yet, but he has thrown the dice. He has told you, no, you can't remove a sitting governor just like that. It is only the House of Assembly that could do it, not you. And that is what the law says. I'm surprised, with all respect to the learned judge of the High Court. He was so moralistic in his judgment. So we will get there. This is not Uhuru yet. We will get there and we'll come back again to say, look, this is the pronouncement of the
So you're saying that this judgment by the Court of Appeal seems to have thrown the dice into the pending, there's another case pending. Yes. On this same matter.
Yes, that's what he has said. Okay. He has been preemptive. I told everybody, we are coming. But this is not the law yet. But the one that no court can remove the governor like that unless the House of Assembly. And in any case, the supremacy of the law cannot be argued. There is nowhere in the Constitution where it is said that a sitting governor cannot declare. In the sitting governor's judgment, he knew there was crisis in PDP. I told you the other day. And what is the crisis? That the session of the state has been marginalized. Is
that a crisis?
Of course it is a crisis.
Okay, so you said that day, right?
Yes.
Well, because I asked the question, I said, who determines there is a crisis in a political party?
And I said, you are not. I remember what I said. I said, because it's there clearly stated. Clearly. Okay. All the lawyers know that. It's not there.
Okay. Well, we're literally scratching the surface on this judgment because it wasn't really the focus of our discussion today. Okay. But because it happened yesterday, it was important that we make mention of it in the course of our analysis on the program. But it's something we'll certainly look forward to in the days to come as the case unfolds. Apparently, it's the appeal court that has made a pronouncement on this case, of which it's probably going to get to the Supreme Court. And there is also another side of the case, which is already before the Federal High Court has already made a judgment on it. We can recall that Governor David Umahi appealed that judgment. So let's see how all of these pans out in the days to come on the fate of Governor David Umahi, his deputy, and the other members of the State House of Assembly who defected with him. But let's come back home to...
Before we go, the other day, my colleague said, Umahi should not be in power. I said, should not be, he should vacate immediately. I said, no, it's as a matter of course. Yeah. We knew that we were going to appeal to the higher court. He did appeal. And he stayed in office.
Okay, so we'll keep our discourse. As I said,
opening remarks. I'm very fascinated to come and help you discuss that aspect of the insecurity in this country. The latest burning issue is what Amechi said. That's an indictment on Mr. President, an indictment on the federal executive, an indictment on himself that he asked for only 3 billion. For only 3 billion to secure the railway line, and they turned it down. And he is saying it to the public. He is indicting himself. He's indicting Mr. President.
How is he indicting himself?
Because
I made a proposal for securing the train line.
Yes.
It was struck down. It didn't carry the day. Now, what I predicted has happened. So how am I indicting myself?
Because it's a part of it. It's a part of the Federal Executive Council.
Okay.
That's why he's indirectly indicting himself.
Okay.
But at that time, the refugee could have cried out to the Nigerian people, look, I see problem coming, but they have not approved the 3 billion. What is 3 billion to this country? It's a tip of the iceberg. Now, when the president answered Amechi, that he told you that he needed 3 billion to secure the railway line, and you turned it down. Mr. President, tell us, why did you turn it down? That's coming up. A lot of people are going to take it up. You know? So,
okay.
Security, sir.
All right, let's take a short break.
Yeah.
Mr. Greg Yayi will be joining us shortly on the program Politics Today on independent television and radio. We'll be back with you in a moment. Thanks again for staying with us on the program Politics Today on independent television and radio. Beautiful Saturday morning. We're looking at the escalation of insecurity in the country with particular reference to the Kaduna-Abuja or the Abuja-Kaduna train that was bombed recently. Several people killed, about 8 killed. Even if it was just one person that died, it certainly would have been a big concern to us. And several others were kidnapped and many more injured. The painful part is that it happened on Monday. By Tuesday, a similar attack had taken place. And there was also an attempt at the Kaduna airport. In a sense, Kaduna State has become the epicenter of terrorist activities, if you like, banditry as it were. But one major question has been bugging a lot of people is, why is it so difficult for government to nip this problem in the bud? The reason people are asking this question is because of some of the reactions that have trailed the recent development in Kaduna State from notable personalities. We started talking on this with the comments made by the Minister of Transportation, talking about Rotimi Amechi, who said that he appealed or he proposed to spend 3 billion naira to secure the railway lines. But at the end of the day, his colleagues at the Federal Executive Council didn't see it from his perspective, and at the end of the day, he didn't fly. But what he prophesied was going to happen if the money doesn't come or if the security aspect of the job wasn't taken care of has finally happened. Well, is this really self-indictment? That's the question that I asked by the gentleman Amego. Pastor Amego, you want to quickly conclude on the point you were making?
I said it's a personal indictment on his own self because he is a member of the Federal Executive Council.
Okay.
He cannot remove himself from there. He has indicted Mr. President, he has indicted Mr. Vice President, and the entire ministers. I told you this thing was going to happen, and people didn't listen to me. Now it has happened. That's a shame. But at the time he said it, he didn't tell the Nigerian people, this is what I saw, this is what I predicted, this is my prophecy. Nobody.
Okay, we didn't hear it until the attack had taken place.
Yes, until the attack had taken place. That's why it's an indictment of that. However, let us see what will happen now.
Okay. All right.
See what will happen.
Mr. Greg, let's get your take on this. I mean, that incident shook Nigeria. Yes, there have been attacks every now and then. That has been a recurring decimal. But this particular one shook Nigerians because people thought that, okay, you can't drive by road. Train looks like it's safe. But I think there was a warning. I recall some time ago, attempts were made by this same terrorist on the train, but it didn't succeed. One would have expected that, some sort of beef up would have taken place, but that didn't happen.
Yes. You see, this is what we've been saying, that the government, you only react. But I believe that there should be some preemptive steps that the government can take that will actually convince us that you are concerned about security. This is a reaction. And why must you allow things to happen before you start thinking of what to do? There was an attempt, and that attempt should have been a wake-up signal to the government that, look, the rail lines have to be protected. Because if you look at these people, they are gradually moving to the transportation sector. Because they know that many people are here, they are moving to the airport, they are moving to the train, and that is a new dimension, completely new dimension, and I think the government even should have foreseen it, because the intelligence community is at work, and sometimes they get feelers, they get information about some of these attacks before they happen, and I do believe that they fit the government. But like I've always said, it's one thing for the intel community to generate information, but the consumption of that information lies on the executive, the government. What if I give you information and you don't act on it? Yeah. And this one, an attempt was even made before, and nothing was done to secure the rails. Are you really interested? Because the social contract theory is based on the fact that I submit to you certain of my rights, make some contributions to you, and then you also undertake to protect my life, protect my property. But what we are seeing here is very disturbing, honestly. And I think we should be very careful, because by the time it gets up to the point of they're even discussing and entering the planes and hijacking planes, because a situation cannot be so bad that it can never get worse. Yeah. This is what the government should be aware of, that no situation can be so bad that it cannot get worse. And you don't have to allow situations to keep degenerating, and the point we are going to now is a completely new dimension.
Okay, fantastic. Let's quickly look at one of the reactions, this time from the governor of Kaduna State, Nasser El-Rufai, who was particularly pained that despite the acquisition of Tucano airplanes, despite the availability of intels from security agents, government is not doing anything to tame this ugly menace. He's of the opinion that, look, we know the hideouts of these guys, we know where they reside, we know their locations, but he can't understand why there seems to be some sort of lethargy in attacking these guys head on. I mean, we heard that part of the impediment was that these guys are bandits, they're criminals. But until they take the form and shape of terrorists, such a high caliber equipment cannot be used against them, so as not to offend the international laws, human rights, and stuff like that. But the Attorney General and Minister of Justice has since gotten a court, document backing that up, designating them as terrorists. Why is there this reluctance to do the needful to bomb their location that is so known? He even went as far as saying that, look, the communications and conversations within these guys, amongst these guys, is available to the intelligence community. Pastor Amego, I'm sure you have some comments on that.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. I'm happy you brought this aspect of security problem. The El-Rufai we speak so much about, we are told he is a member of the Cabal group. Why is he not talking to his friend? Why is he not talking to the head of the country? You see, sir, this insecurity is something we must not hurry about. Because I think Mr. President doesn't want to secure us. It's in my party. The reason I say so is that we can curb this, we can stop it, or we can reduce it if we want to. I'll tell you an example. Look at this boy who has discovered drone. He was a lecturer in Kaduna. Our own boy, our own son. You can invite him. My person. Here we are in this country. This is your country of origin. You are the one doing it for the American people. Why not let us save our own country? Go to Sabista country, Sabista forest, bomb every damn place there. He doesn't want us to do it. Go to any forest where these people are, bomb the place. What happened in OD? The person just said, go to OD. Anything that has life, destroy it. Including chicken, goats, everything that has life, destroy. And everybody kept quiet. Sir, look at Ukraine today and Russia. Ukraine yesterday just started using drone to go and bomb oil depot in Russia. Yeah. Russia is now compared. Ukraine is saying we don't know who did it, but we know who did it. You see the commitment in Ukraine, sir. Is it not alarming to you?
Very alarming.
Men will take their wives and children to the border and say, Baba, yes, I'm going to fight.
For my country.
I'm going to fight. We are not a conquered nation. I'm going to fight. If I come back, okay. If I don't come back, goodbye. That is the love of the country in their hearts. Do we have that here? Now we are saying policemen are not doing anything. You sit down and you want to rate the policeman, you rate him less than 100,000 a month. All those who rate policemen less than 100,000 a month, even if it was a Christian, they must have their names in hell. So honestly, even if it was a Christian, a policeman should not earn less than 100,000 a month. Because while we are sleeping, they are on the road junctions. This is because they are not committed. Many of them have been killed innocently. Come, the Duke. Somebody who was killed 7 years ago, policeman, is getting compensation for his family. And the family is already in disarray. That is the kind of government we have. 7 years ago, he was killed on active service. Of course, those people should go to hell. They should have their place in hell. Okay. So all I'm saying is that if we want to face headlong, we have the capacity, we have the means, we have the will. And they are terrorists now.
Would you say we have the will or that we have the capacity?
We have the will, we have the capacity.
Yeah.
If we have the will, we can deal with them easily.
All right.
If I will get drones, you don't even need to kill one person. And sight the area. Get your choppers to go and look at them where they are.
Surveillance and all of that, yeah.
Above this place.
Okay.
They will run away.
But Mr. Let me bring you in here. Should we be blaming Mr. President? What about the security agents, whether at the level of the police, at the level of the army, at the level of the Air Force, as it were, to deal with this situation decisively? I looked at a comment made by a member of the House of Representatives who was of the opinion that, or he's of the opinion that insecurity has become the new cash cow when you look at the budget pattern in the last 3 years, from 2020 to 2022. In 2020 alone, 420 billion naira was budgeted for the army alone. That's outside 100 billion naira that was budgeted for Operation Lafia Dole. And then in 2021, 460 billion naira. In 2022, we're looking at 571 billion naira. This is
over $1 trillion.
Yes. When you aggregate all of this, you know what it comes to.
Yes.
And then if you put side by side what has been put into capital expenditure, I mean, it's mind-blowing. Yes. Shouldn't we hold these guys giving these monies to do this job responsible for the ineffectiveness? I mean, we have Super Tucano jets. We are not aware they are being deployed. So where are the Super Tucano jets? Where are they? Who has possession of them? Who is in charge of them? Why are they not being deployed?
Okay.
Sonny Duke, you know that Buhari is the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. When we meet the armed forces, all the security network, all the security agencies, if I give you a job to do and you do not do it well, can people start blaming me? No, they should blame the person who supervises me. He is the commander-in-chief. By that, he's the head of the police, head of the army, head of the navy, head of Air Force, everything. He has the power to hire and fire as commander-in-chief. I give you an assignment. Let me tell you one of the most disappointing things about the president. He asked the IG to relocate to Benue 2 weeks after the IG was in Abuja. And when he was asked, he said he didn't know that the IG was in Abuja. So who do you blame for that? So as the commander-in-chief, if anything happens, I give an example of somebody like Trump. Even when he was having re-election problem, and one American was kidnapped, and then he was taken from, was it Chad or Niger, down to Nigeria, to Zamfara. He told the army and the security agents, get that man, the terrorists in charge, get all of them dead or alive. They came to Zamfara, they rescued the American, and then they killed one of the terrorists. And the other ones that were alive, they captured all of them, put everybody in the plane straight to America. Re-election issue did not disturb me from that. What is really stopping the president from saying, we've given you this money, we've given you this equipment, and I've given you the command as commander-in-chief. If you don't do it, then I hold you responsible. What is happening? Because if you give somebody a job to do, and the person doesn't do it, and the one who is the head, you know, he sees you, you sit down, you are comfortable, nothing is being done, the next person will do the same. So I think this is actually the problem. The commander-in-chief should do something. He's not commander-in-chief in name, he's commander-in-chief also. He should be in action. He has been a general. He has headed the armored division before. He knows what war is like. He knows what security is like. And that was one of the things that was used in campaign slogan, that this man has been a general, he will secure us, he knows what it takes, he knows what to do, and he's going to do it. What is happening now that we are in position? And Nigerians are every day, you know, being slaughtered just like that. Blood is flowing in the country as water. So please, I think the buck stops at his table, and he should take the responsibility for whatever is happening. I don't believe in blaming anybody apart from the commander-in-chief. Because if you appoint somebody, he gives the person the equipment, gives the person the money, he doesn't do it. He has the right, constitutional right, to call him to order or fire him.
All right, Mr. Mego, we're not aware that security agents are complaining that some of the things that they requested for, they are not coming. I recall that with the when we were talking about acquiring the Super Tucano jets, it looks like it was something that was going to happen in the sweet by and by. But before we knew what was happening, eventually we've acquired the Super Tucano jet. But what is available in the public space is that these fighter jets are not being deployed. I mean, one man who has led credence to that is Governor El-Rufai of Kaduna State. Shouldn't we hold the security agents accountable under the circumstance?
As a journalist of very high repute, I should hold you for not finding out. Yes, because we are in our house. We are not here. You hear me.
And that's what I'm telling you. And that's what I'm telling you. And that's what I'm telling you.
Every time we hear, we are acquiring this, we are acquiring this, we are acquiring that. Where are they?
Yes.
Where are they stationed?
Yes.
Why are they not being used? Even our son, Iraba, 2 days ago, was also complaining. The head of the army.
That's the chief of defense.
The chief of defense staff.
Complaining. Who are they complaining to? Like my colleague said, who are they now complaining when they are holding meeting every day with Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces? In fact, when we retire to our rooms, we're almost in tears. For those who have the love of this country, almost in tears that just nothing is happening. We have acquired this, we have acquired that. Jonathan came, carried the cash, almost $1 billion to South Africa to go and buy ammunition. They said they seized the money. Was the money ever released to us? We don't know. Where is the ammunition he bought? We don't know. So that money has gone to oblivion. So like that and like that and like that. The president just, when the president was asked, I think it's my party, we don't, it's my party.
Yeah, but I mean, we're talking about human lives, Mr. Mego. Should party supremacy be the order of the day when we're talking about human lives?
Duke, it's very sad.
Yes.
Start discussing it, it's very sad. How can you sit down in the evening, look at this one is killed, that one is killed, not chicken, not goat, human beings, because of the ineptitude of leadership of this country, because of the lackluster of the leadership of this country. Then where are we? Who is now going to govern us? Somebody from the academia came, he tried, he couldn't just succeed. We brought a general who knows the intricacies of war. He knows the war in out. We said, okay, we want general who knows what the war is like. He has studied all his life about war. Let him come and redeem us. Here we are. Are we redeemed? Here we are. I am saying, it is my opinion, that we have the capacity, but we don't have the will. That's what I'm saying, because we have the ammunition. Who are those boys in the forest? Even look at vigilante boys. They are even caging them now. Vigilante boys. Who have not even betrayed? If you pay our policemen very well, they will cage these people. The policemen are not paid well. The soldiers are not paid well. You don't encourage them like they do in Ukraine. And they want them to come and sacrifice their own life and their wives become widows, the children fatherless, without compensation for them. Please, sir, what I am saying is that encourage the security guys. Encourage them, and they will be interested in securing the country. And then Nigerian government should ban ammunition. We have it in South Africa, we have it in South Korea, we have ammunition to buy from poor countries. So that's the situation, sir.
If you just join us, you're on to Politics Today, and it's reaching you live on independent television and radio. Today, we're showing the escalating insecurity in the Northwest, and with special focus on the bomb attacks actually, on the Abuja-Kaduna train, which has brought forth a lot of reactions from the Minister of Transport, the Governor of Kaduna State, El-Rufai, and several other stakeholders. The interesting thing is the freedom with which these guys operate, and then it goes scot-free, which is continuing to bring forth some reactions across the country. But when will this end? No one can tell. I saw a video recently, even though I couldn't independently confirm the authenticity of that video. It was a young military man who was doing a video and was apparently running alone in the bush. And in that video, he was saying that all his colleagues have deserted him. He doesn't know where he's going. He's all alone, and we should pray for him. I was particularly touched by that video. But a few days later, the army responded by saying that a young guy is a deserter. As a matter of fact, he ran away from his colleagues, knowing fully well the implication of what he has done. That's why he had to do that video, to cover up his tracks. Whether it's the young guy that is lying or the authority is lying, we can't tell. Only God knows. But every now and then we see such videos online where security officers give you their experiences real time in the war front. And I can tell you, the story is not sweet at all. But we've got what it takes to really take care of these guys. Why are we not doing it? That seems to be a big question on the lips of many people. Now, the arms and ammunition are there, the funding is there, the military men, the officers, the security agents have been equipped and empowered to be able to deal with these guys decisively. Why are we not deploying the best of the best? Just like Barrister Amengo said a while ago, we have seen a different dimension in war, which means that we carry arms and ammunition without human beings. You have arms and ammunition that can be deployed without human beings. Talking about the drones, Ukraine is doing it. Several other countries are doing it. And I believe that even within the rank and file of the security agent, they also have some of these equipment. Why are they not being deployed? Or if they are being deployed, how come we are not getting the result that is needed? I've seen a write-up posted by Senator Shehu Sani recently, where he highlighted the topmost terrorists or bandits, that are ravaging Nigeria right now, from Zamfara to Sokoto to Niger, as it were. These guys are known. And it brings me to one question that came initially when these bandit attacks was rising. We were given the impression that these guys who are, midwifing this dastardly act, they are not Nigerians. I recall that Mr. President said so, that these guys are not Nigerians, that they are from foreigners. But when you look at these top bandits, that their names are already in the public space, either they are from Kaduna State, or they are from Zamfara State, or they are from Niger State. Zamfara State at some point in time was the epicenter. They moved from one state to another. So, how do you react to this with what is coming forward now, Barrister Greg?
You see, the reaction of the government is what even weakens the Nigerians. You will remember when Boko Haram was going to be classified as a terrorist organization, our present president said no, that they are not terrorists. People who were killing, who were maiming people. That will tell you the position we are in. And then also, classifying them, who is a bandits? What is banditry? A bandit is somebody who commits a crime, who can go to anywhere, blow up a place, and do that. And you said they were not terrorists. And because of that, certain force could not be applied against them. So Nigerians were in that situation where we were talking of semantics, when blood was flowing in the hands of bandits, whether they are called terrorists, whether they are called bandits, whether they are called insurgents or whatever. The issue is that they are taking life illegally and they deserve to be checked. The same Erufai, let me just make this point. The same Erufai years ago was the one telling us that the incompetence of the government is what is leading to this issue of insecurity. Yeah. And it was nothing near this then. It was nothing near this. I wonder what Erufai will be saying now. And happening in his own Kaduna state, the bloodletting that is going on, and the unrestrained banditry. The will is not there to check these people. And this is where Nigerians will continue to question this, because we are told that these people were from Libya, that Gaddafi was the one who caused the problem. That Gaddafi caused the problem. Unfortunately, Gaddafi is dead, and he could not respond for himself. So we had only one side. Yes, because everybody okay, Gaddafi. Are we always looking for people to blame, or we should be thinking of a solution? We were told that Nigeria had the capacity by our present president, and that we don't need to bring in foreigners or foreign help to deal with these bandits. But now, we are talking of buying ammunition from other countries. Then we are talking of synergizing with other ECOWAS countries. Whatever it takes, because Jonathan was criticized for bringing in foreigners to come and help us check the banditry. But what happened after that? Even with the synergy now with other ECOWAS countries, we are beginning to find out that there is something within us. I think the battle is from within us. It's not from our side.
Okay. Where is the synergy? You are just using English language. What synergy? What result is it giving us? Where have you seen it? Where have you synergized to bring back in this particular state that nothing is happening? Look at Kaduna. All the 12 local governments of Kaduna state occupied by Christians are almost virtually empty. They are all relocated to suburbs of Abuja. Yeah. Because they are killing them today.
Even the governor of Niger State is crying that bandits are operating just 30 miles away from the seat of the federal government. And that we should not even be crying for Niger State, that we should be crying for the capital of the country.
We have a precursor, if you like, accept him as a precursor, a man who goes forward and backward to give us information about terrorists. And we are looking at him. He go, I've discussed with them, they are in Forest A, this is what they want. I beg your pardon, we are talking of terrorists. Terrorists. Somebody is going forward and backward to give us information about terrorists. You can ask him, put chain in his hand and say, take me to that forest. Take me to the forest and deal with the terrorists who are in the forest. Since you go there to discuss with them. And you are treating the dying of the people with triviality. It doesn't matter our people can die. It doesn't matter anything, provided you don't die, provided your family does not die. Any other person can die. Is that a country? Okay. Borrow a leaf from Ukraine, please.
Oh, let's open our studio line and get some more insights and perspectives and views and opinions on our discussions today. But please ensure that you stay on course and follow the line of our discussion, just to ensure that we're all on the same page. We are talking based on the guidelines provided by our regulators. Insecurity is a very thorny issue that could make people go very emotional. Our first caller on the show, live on the program. Tell us your name and where you're calling from. Please endeavor to turn down the audio level on your television or radio set. Good morning, caller. Yes, what's your name? Yes, please turn down the audio level on your TV set.
I will move away from there.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you,
Thank you.
This is the first time I agree with our father there in the studio.
Okay. Okay.
That admitting ought to have, when he cried, he started crying wolf after the bomb has taken place. Then the question for actually doing in order to secure the railway lines. And the government was not forthcoming with such money. Why did he not resign? Because the development, that's what it has to do.
Why did he resign?
He did not resign because of what maybe he's thinking of how to foster his next line is pocket with more money. What prevents him from resign if they didn't listen to him? And he's trying off after they did as better. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you, first caller on the program today. What you know, Nigeria, we don't resign. I mean, it's very, very rare.
Yes.
We don't resign. We don't do that. We hardly do that. Hello, caller. Good morning. What's your name? Tell us your name and where you're calling from. Go ahead with a contribution. Yes. Good morning. Tell us your name and where you're calling from. Yeah, please turn down the audio level on your TV set. Turn down the audio level on your TV set. Okay, we'll get you on in a jiffy, but let's take other calls. Hello, caller. Good morning. What's your name? Yes. Good morning. Yeah. All right. Go ahead.
I want to appreciate your panelists there.
Thank you.
Talking about the discussion about the security situation in the state and nation.
Okay.
To be the obligation of the federal government to provide security, because it is the government that should provide security to protect lives and property and to do the needful so that the people in the nation can have the rest of mind and be able to plan for economic development.
Yes.
This way, Nigeria will be able to stand. Because the way it is now, it doesn't seem as though we are living in unity. Look at what is happening in Ukraine. But yet, people are still living up to responsibility. But my prayer is that God help our leaders and the followers to do the needful so that we'll be able to coexist as one nation. God bless ITV. God bless everyone in Jesus' name.
All right, thank you, Deacon Matthew Hirobo, for those views. We'll have you on the program, caller. Tell us your name and where you're calling from. Go ahead with your contribution. Good morning. What's your name and where you're calling from? Good morning. Yes, good morning. What's your name and where you're calling from? Please turn down the audio level on your TV or radio to remove the echo. Turn it down or you move backwards. Turn down the audio level on your TV or radio to remove the echo, please. All right, go ahead. Okay, we always advise that you turn down the audio level. Good morning, caller. What's your name?
Yeah, this is Radio Petition from Pastor Mobile.
Yes, please go ahead.
Since I was born, I have never seen this kind of thing before. If we have a leader or a president or a governor, as I may say, what is happening this way? They don't even talk about it. The only thing what they have, I condemn, no solution, nothing. And they feel comfortable. When the day breaks, they will eat, they will benefit with their stomach. They feel happy. I never seen people are the killing of this country. I don't know if we are in it for now. You know, the country that we have in war now is Ukraine. I don't think people die like this. When people die in Nigeria, who will say we are not in the 2021. I don't know. And they are comfortable. I don't know where this country is leading this country to. I've never seen things like this before. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Thank you for your views. Good morning, caller. Tell us your name and where you're calling from. Good morning.
Good morning. My name is George Wifo.
George Wifo.
Yes, I'm calling from Sackler Road.
Please go ahead, George.
So in addition to what other Nigerians are calling for, I believe that the federal government did not take a holistic approach in terms of setting up the train lines, and then knowing that because of the security situation we have in this country, there should also be security agents in strategic locations along the train lines. For example, in other countries, you usually would have a well-developed train station, and then in between you have houses, towns. But in our case, we don't have that. So they never thought about that. And then there should be security agents on every coach that you have there. You should have a DSS officer, because Nigerians now think that DSS officers and other security agencies, they are more focused on issues, punitive measures, against other Nigerians that have committed less crimes, instead of focusing on banditry. So my point here is, let's have security on the coaches so that people would at least have some measure of confidence, when they are boarding this train.
All right, George Umahi, thank you very much for your views. Thank you.
All right.
Okay, we'll take more calls and then we'll be calling it a wrap on to this edition of the program Politics Today on Independent Television and Radio. Hello, caller, good morning. What's your name? Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
David. I'm calling from Guinea.
Yes, go ahead, please.
The situation we are now is very critical.
Yeah, I agree with you, absolutely.
It was attacks they have in Ukraine and Russia. You understand? So the government now of the day should call for, as in volunteers, they should invest on ammunition, give people ammunition to fight these bandits. The earlier the better.
Okay.
Because these bandits, they know what they're doing. They just want to take over the government. They don't know. The government is sleeping right now. You understand? Because the military, you need a volunteer. Add them to the military and fight this war. Let this situation we have now, let it be the order of the day. You understand? From morning till night, they should fight these people. Stand still. You understand? We don't have any other business. The business we have in Nigeria is security. What we should be talking on radio is security. Forget all the adverts that people are putting out there. We are in a very difficult situation right now. You understand? So we need help all over the world. We need help.
Okay.
We need people that will fight for us.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Hello, caller, good morning. What's your name? We're expecting more calls to come, but someone raised a very fundamental issue earlier this week in relation to the insecurity challenges. Should Nigerians be allowed to have guns licensed by the federal government? In other crimes, you find, for example, in Ukraine, the President Volodymyr Zelensky is calling for volunteers to help fight the war. Governor El-Rufai has said that Kaduna State is at war. And someone countered it to say, look, it's not Kaduna State that is at war alone. Even Nigeria is at war against the background of what is happening in the country. Let me quickly get your final words along those lines, Barrister Mego, quickly.
Well, sir, I would not be an advocate of everybody owning a gun this time in Nigeria, because we still have many erratic people who could use a gun anyhow.
Yes.
If you recall, in Russia, people are not allowed to hold guns the way they do in America, because Americans are very civilized. But the Russians are being governed by a dictator. If they had allowed people to be owning guns in Russia, maybe by now nobody would be a dictator in Russia. So I don't encourage that now. But let us empower our local vigilante. Let us pay them well. Let's encourage them. They will do a good job. And I think they're already doing a good job.
All right, Master Greg, yeah.
I would like to align myself with his position that we don't need that now. What we need to do is to do a rejig of the security apparatus, encourage them, equip them, pay them well. And then, like has been said, our local vigilante, we should also empower them. And I believe all these bandits and all that, they're a ragtag army that can be contained by very well trained. Our army is capable. They've done well in international assignment. Our police is capable. They have done well in international assignment. If you give them the same conditions and environment, they will do very well. They will even be more committed because they are saving their own people.
Okay. All right, just before we call it a wrap, just some few more calls on the program. Yes, good morning. What's your name? What's your name? We lost that call. Let's hope you can get back to us as quickly as possible. Good morning, caller. What's your name? Please turn down the audio level on your radio or television. Good morning.
Hello?
Yes, good morning. All right, we'll take that call off. We're not so sure. Good morning, caller. Good morning. What's your name? Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Yes, tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Good morning. We can hear you loud and clear. Go ahead and make a contribution.
Yeah, my name is Mr. Nigeria.
Okay, Mr. Nigeria, go ahead, please.
Yes, the problem is we Nigerians, we are not tired of this complaints and suffering. If we are tired, because there's no day that days in this country that nobody dies. Every day, people continue to die because of one mistake or another. The government in power, they are not seeing anything wrong with it. Why the people don't see anything wrong with it is because we cannot march out to the street. We should stop talking. Let civil society group organize everybody, because the labor, we don't have labor. That's supposed to be superseding for us in every crisis in this country. Civil society group should gather everybody. If it's 1 week, everybody should be on the street peacefully and paralyze the economy for 1 week, so that then we know that Nigerians are serious.
Yeah, but we need to be careful so it doesn't sound like just a moment. So it doesn't sound like we are trying to use our platform to call for protest and all of that. Yeah. I'm sure there are several ways we can also engender some form of engagement without necessarily calling people out to protest, so that we can have a solution to the problem. I also empathize with you on some of the views that you've expressed against the background of how the country is at the moment. But it would be out of place for us to call out people for protests and stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Well, that's the most we have for you on the program, Politics Today, on independent television and radio. It's always front time on this show every Saturday, and our time really flies. Yeah. But the interesting thing is that the insecurity problems in this country is deafening and seems to be worsening by the day, particularly with what has just happened in the Northwest. I mean, the attacks is more or less on a daily basis. Blood is flowing, like someone said earlier in this program. And the authorities in charge, they need to wake up to their responsibilities. They need to be alive to their responsibilities. If indeed we've had Super Tucano jets purchased, which I believe we have, we need to know where they are. We also need to be told why they are not being deployed. If the governor of a state, who is the chief security officer, has come out to say, look, the intel are available or is available about their whereabouts, about their location, precisely based on intelligence, based on area survey by the security agents, why are we not taking the most decisive actions against these people? Why are we allowing these bandits or terrorists, if you like, to continue to have a field day at the expense of innocent Nigerians who are going about their lawful duties on a daily basis? The destruction of lives and property is just too much. The era and the time of papering over all of this thing is over. Government needs to stand up to its responsibility and do the needful. Deploy the Super Tucano jet. Maybe I'm going to lead a campaign on hashtag deploy Super Tucano jet against terrorists in the Northwest, so we can have something to cheer about. Nobody's happy with the way things are being. Governor Rufai said, look, he can be comfortable with losing just a few innocent people if that's what we need to sacrifice for these bad guys to meet their Waterloo. Yes. This is my opinion. That's my submission on the program. Have a beautiful weekend, and bye for now.